So what's up guys, I am BlackOpsAmazing, welcome back to another zombies video where today we are looking at the top 5 best perks you can buy in Call of Duty Zombies. If you enjoyed today's video, a like rating would be very much appreciated. Make sure you are subscribed to stay up to date with the latest zombies videos on this channel. Could we reach on this video 2,000 like ratings? If we could, that'd be awesome. Make sure you click that little notification button as well to get an alert every time I upload. But when you're ready, let's do this. So let me know in the comment section below what your top 5 favorite perks to use in zombies are. This list of course is in my opinion. You guys may choose different perks. Sometimes it just depends on the situation you are in. If you're going for camping, then you may want a different perk than if you're training. I think it just depends on your playstyle and which perks you use the most. And in my opinion, these are the top 5 worst, for me at least, that I could pick. And also, it's not to say that I actually think any of these perks are bad. In their own situations, they can actually all be really useful. But generally, if I have to pick the top 5 worst ones, these are what it would be. Anyway, getting into number 5. This one especially was really difficult to pick because, as I said, I don't really think any of the perks in zombies are bad. There are ones that I think are worse than each other, but in their own situations, they can all be really useful. But number 4, 3, 2, and 1, I could quite easily pick. But number 5, there wasn't really any perk that stood out to me as being bad that could fit in at number 5. Like I said, 4 perks I could easily pick, but for a 5th, I honestly can't. And so purely just because I have to pick a 5th perk, I think I'm honestly gonna put Vulture here. Now let me tell you why. Vulture I think is a really good perk on the early rounds, but then when it gets to the higher rounds, I think it becomes pretty useless. Now another perk that I could put at number 5 I think is Mule Kick, purely just because I simply never use it. I never find myself stuck in a situation where I need to have 3 weapons, which would take another perk slot, which would usually be Speed Cola or Double Tap. I honestly can't see myself replacing Mule Kick with Speed Cola or Double Tap. They're just too useful. And so for that reason, Mule Kick's just never simply used. It's a good perk, but I rarely find myself in a situation where I need 3 weapons. Usually an LMG and a wonder weapon is more than good enough. So again, for me personally, Mule Kick could have made it in at number 5. I think it's between those two, Vulture or Mule Kick. Now as I said, Vulture is good for the lower rounds, as you can get free points and ammo from killing the zombies. Now granted, it's not much. You get between 5 or 20 points occasionally, or 10% of your weapon's magazine, which isn't much, but on the early rounds it can help. It also allows you to see weapons, the Pack-a-Punch machine and perks, and also the mystery box through walls at short distances, but again, once you've played Buried enough, it's really not difficult to know where everything is. But I think the best thing about this perk is the fact that when you kill the zombies, occasionally green gas will release from their body, and if you stand in it, the zombies will ignore you for a short amount of time. That for me is the best thing about this perk, which can be really useful. But like I said, that's really the only good thing. When you're on the higher rounds, you don't really need those points as you're not going to spend them on anything. You know, 20 points isn't effective. The ammo can help a little bit, but the seeing everything through walls is useless, and the green gas, especially if you're camping, can be quite useful. So Vulture is a decent perk. It's also quite annoying that it's not on every map. It's just on Buried, which is another reason why it should be on this list. But like I said, I don't think it's bad. But then again, Mule Kick, I said, could be at number 5 simply for the fact that I rarely ever buy it. The 4 normal perks you buy in zombies are obviously Juggernog and Quick Revive. Those are your 2 main ones for playing on solo. Double Tap should be an essential, and then your 4th one, most of the time for most people I'm guessing, is Speed Cola. I mean, some people go for Stamina Up, some people go for Mule Kick, but for me, Mule Kick just doesn't replace the main 4. It is just not as useful and won't help on those higher rounds. I mean, if I'm running out of ammo on a weapon, I'm simply just going to go buy another one and replace it, or usually I buy a weapon off the wall, so I'll just buy more ammo off the wall. I rarely buy Mule Kick, so for that reason, either Vulture or Mule Kick has to come in at number 5. I'll leave it to you guys in the comment section below to decide which one. I honestly can't, but as I said in the beginning, number 5 is a really difficult one to pick, because number 4, 3, 2, and 1, I think definitely deserve a spot on this list. As for number 5, there's really not one perk I could put it down to. But anyway, getting into number 4, this for me was easy. This is Double Tap 1.0. Now don't mistake this with Double Tap 2.0 that we see in the new version of zombies. Double Tap 1.0 was the very first version of Double Tap we had all the way back when zombies began, and there is a massive difference. weapons. Now originally double tap root beer was seen in World at War and Black Ops Zombies, and at that time obviously it was a perk that you were going to get, but now if you had the option between double tap 1.0 and double tap 2.0, obviously you're going to get 2.0. But 1.0 at times could actually be a bit risky, and what it did was increase your fire rate, which was good, meaning you could shoot bullets out twice as fast. But what this also means is that you're wasting your ammo twice as fast as well. You could easily put a lot more bullets into a zombies than you needed to, especially if you have a weapon already that has a very high fire rate like the PPSH. And weapons like that, using double tap 1.0, you could easily waste a lot of ammo, and obviously depleting your ammo quickly isn't good. But on the other hand, like I said, increased fire rate means you could kill the zombies in a faster time, which who wouldn't want to do? Simply the reason why double tap 1.0 has to come on this list is because now every other perk just overshadows it. With double tap 2.0 coming, there's really no need for 1.0. The difference is that double tap 2.0, instead of just increasing your fire rate, you also fire out 2 bullets at once instead of originally where it was 1 bullet. Double tap 2.0 is a much improved version. It leaves 1.0 in the dark, and so for that reason, simply it has to come on this list. But it's not terrible, it only makes it in at number 4. Back in the days, if you're going back to World at War, of course it's useful. Getting into number 3, this perk has to make it onto this list somewhere, and it is Deadshot Daiquiri. Now there's always that one fan out there who loves Deadshot. I don't know who you are, just stop it, right? You don't actually love it. But I've always just thought it was a strange one. Now Deadshot Daiquiri, it's kind of in the name. I suppose the best thing about this is it only costs 1500 points. But what this perk does is narrows the player's crosshair by 35%, which I think is pretty pointless. And also moves the aim assist lock on from the torso to the head. So if you automatically zoom in down sight, you will go to the head instead of the torso. And also, if you didn't know, it reduces all weapon recoil and removes the idle sway from sniper rifles. Now the recoil out of them is probably the most useful, but it's really not noticeable. If you brought this perk, you wouldn't notice that it actually reduces your recoil. I suppose it's good for snipers, but when do you ever really use one of them with a scope on anyway? So for me, there's really nothing useful about this perk. The main thing about it is that it's supposed to lock on 2 heads, but I go for headshots anyway. There's really not much difference. I just honestly think it's a waste of a perk slot. I've probably brought this like 10 times out of the 1000 zombies games I've played, and for me, I honestly think it's just pointless. I see no reason in buying this. I suppose some people will. If you're not the best aim at zombies, if you're not too good, then probably you might want to buy this, but there's not a reason why it should replace any of your 4 other main perks. It just doesn't do better than any of them. You can get Deadshot on loads of different maps: Call of the Dead, Shangri-La, Moon, Mob of the Dead, Origins, The Giant, Horizon Draco, Zetsubona, Shima, Guard Crovy, Revelations, Nectar and Toten, the remastered one anyway, Varuk, Shino Numa, Kino, Ascension, the remastered ones. I mean, yeah. It's a pretty, I just think it's a pretty boring perk. I mean, look at it. It's great. The thing's great. It's rubbish. Just get out of here. What even are you? Anyway, getting into number 2. Now, I was actually struggling a little bit on whether to put number 1 at number 2 or number 2 at number 1. I always freaking do this, but in the end, number 2 has gone down to Tombstone Soda. Now, Tombstone, not gonna lie, I actually like. Well, when playing on Town anyway. I don't use it on Transit, but when playing on Town with 2 players, Tombstone is a perk that I will use. And I'm sure most of you know the reason why. It's the fact that you can do the perk glitch, in which Tombstone will allow you to buy all of the other perks in zombies, meaning you can have, I don't know, is it 6 or 7 perks, which is awesome. Eli, so why is it on this list? I don't know. People just don't like Tombstone for some reason. I think it'd be a lot more appreciated if it was on other maps as well, but it isn't. And the fact that it's on Transit out of all of the maps, I mean, it's not particularly a favourite map in the community, it doesn't help. But like I said, for 2000 points playing on Town, you can't go wrong. So what's bad about this perk, I suppose, is the fact that first off, on Transit, it's a big map, it can be annoying to get. But what Tombstone does, if you don't know, is when you go down in zombies, you will drop a Tombstone power-up. And what you can then do is, if you don't let anyone else revive you in the game and you die out or kill yourself, when you spawn in the next round, wherever that tombstone dropped, wherever you died, if you go and pick it up, you will get all of your perks back. And also, you're going to get your guns back as well. Obviously, the only perk you're going to miss is Tombstone. You'll need to buy it again. But what's quite annoying about this is the fact that you only have 90 seconds to go and retrieve your Tombstone perk, which on Transit, since it's a big map, it can be really annoying. If you're spawning in a different different location as to where your tombstone is, you're pretty much done. Unless the bus is right there, you're not going to get your tombstone back in 90 seconds, unless you're pretty quick. But like I said, you won't have your perks, so good luck. However, what can also be annoying about this is the fact that if you're playing with random people and you get Tombstone, you get yourself downed, then if they revive you, then Tombstone simply doesn't come into effect. Which I've freaking done that, playing with random people. Why are you reviving me? I've got Tombstone. Stop. Okay, thank you. You're really nice, but stop it. They get me up. Basically, yeah. I lose all my perks, Tombstone's not effective. What was the point? But you know what the best thing about this perk is? It's this.
Rest in pieces, down for the count. No revival, you're bleeding out. Your epitaph says you died a wealthy man, but you could have it all come back. It's his master plan with Tombstone, it's Tombstone.
And who freaking doesn't love that jingle? It's mint. That's why it has to come in at number 2 and not number 1. But ultimately, obviously, we have to pick number 1. This perk deserves to be here. If you argue with this, seriously, stop it. Stop playing yourself. It is Who's Who. Who's Who? But Who's Who you can only get on the map Die Rise. And thank God, I'm going to say this. This is the only time I'm ever going to say this. We can only get this perk on one map. Oh, yes. Thank you. I hate it. And I think I hate it for the fact that it scares me. So basically, this perk is a horrible version of Quick Revive, I guess you could say. Well, actually, it's supposed to be better than Quick Revive. It's supposed to be like an alternate version of Tombstone Soda, but it's just the worst version. Well, I suppose it costs 2,000 points. And what it does is allows players to revive themselves after they are downed. If you get downed, you will then turn into a doppelganger version of yourself, kind of like a ghost of yourself. And then you have to run around the map and revive the downed version of yourself. In which you're thinking, okay, that doesn't sound difficult. Well, it is when you've got no perks and all you've got is the M1911, the starting pistol. What are you going to do? You're on round 50, right? How are you meant to revive yourself with no perks, no weapon, a horde of zombies chasing you? Most of the time I find this perk just doesn't work. I suppose on the early rounds, but really, does it matter if you go down and lose your one perk? If you do revive yourself, you are going to get all your perks and weapons back, but I'd much rather just get Quick Revive, where I know I'm going to get myself back up, and then just buy everything back again. I just don't like it. What is this? Why is it got a rubber dinghy around it? What is that? What the hell's going on here? Fire whoever invented this perk! But seriously, it has to come in at number 1. I've brought this like a couple of times. I honestly don't like it. I've never really seen anyone, especially now, use this perk. Why would you? For me, Who's coming in at number 1. Let me know what your top 5 was down in the comment section below. Maybe some perks on this list are useful to you. I mean, I don't know. It's all in my opinion. Let me know what you think. Make sure you are subscribed to the channel for more zombies videos like this. Leave a like rating if you have enjoyed the video. That would be very much appreciated. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you all in the next video. What top 5 do you want me to do next? And until next time, peace out.